Yeah. Ghost, we make him fly like a ghost. If he want talking the game, the heater gon' turn into toast. If he pull out and we spliffed him, he was just doing a distance. Promise we ain't gon' miss him. His soul gon' fly when we lift him. Bye, good riddance. Why is this haunting her feelings? To the top on a mission. I got a shot, take it with precision. You ain't up if you ain't down to get it. Fuck your bob if you ain't vibing with us. No, no, no. Bye, bye, bye. Clock him out. He ain't gon' talk when the Glock is off. You ain't gon' talk when the Glock is off. Headshot, knock him out. Ah, get him. Bye, good riddance. Sorry I had to do this. Sorry I'm being a nuisance. I just gotta get it. Hi, I'm Mary Jeans on my Louis V for the belt. 2 G's for the belt. Know the heater gon' make him out. Promise the heater gon' make him out. OD niggas know me. I just move along with the hand I throw.
Hey everybody, let me say hi real quick. Hey Just John. Hey Joe being Joe, how are you? Hey baby, how are you? Hey Bliss Chris, how you doing, shorty? Hey Vera, how are you? TGIF mama. It is not a premiere, Shay. How are you, my beautiful Shay? Nya nya nya. Oh, you thought you worked tonight? Oh, I'm happy you're home. Dee Coleman, hello. That's a great picture. Nice, nice, love it. Hey Mikey, how are ya? Yes, she is giving big liar. Hi Welsh Rose, how are you doing? How you doing? Hey Jenny Lee, how you doing? Shorty pie. Pamela Barr, hi mama. Thank you. So before we start, and before I get canceled and get the damn rot of dies after me, we gonna start off like this, okay?
Bro, no one's mad that you're back. No one's mad. No one's mad. They don't want you to stay in jail forever. They just want you to take some accountability. That's all. I'm not the perfect person. I'm not the perfect parent. Lord knows I have made tons of mistakes. And we all make mistakes. We're all human beings. But girl, if you would have taken just a speck, micro dust of responsibility and accountability here, the internet would not be so pissed off right now. You know, maybe if you said, I have a drinking problem and I need to go into a program so that this doesn't happen again, or I need to take a parenting class so this doesn't happen again, or I need to find a sitter that is more accommodating to my schedule so this doesn't happen again, your audience would be there to support you because we all make mistakes. This video ain't it. I'll tell you that. I've been a little in my feelings about this video for like 24 hours. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah, so in ode to Nicole, I am drinking my accountability, okay? I'm full of shit. This is coffee. Now I'm not drinking no damn tea around them damn parts, okay? This is coffee, but in ode to Nicole, yeah, accountability. So I sourced everybody down below. Hey, Wanda, hey, Mama T. Hello, Michelle goes live. Okay, yeah, you could bounce. Anyway, okay. So, what we're gonna do, hello, Elizabeth Gregory. Listen, mods, do what you do. Do what you do. All right, you already know. It is what it is. They come in disrespectful. You just see ya. Okay. Hi, Henry's mom. How are you? So, yeah, I thought that was crazy. I found that from a creator, Soraya Jimenez. She did a short, and like the words that she said can actually be flipped on her. Now, don't get me wrong. We are all hypocrites. It's human nature to have inherent biases. It's human nature, okay? But I just thought it was poetic that she's like, take a little bit of accountability, come and I'm gonna play that again because I think we need to just marinate on that. Just a little shine, okay? So let's hear that again.
Bro. No.
I cut out the song because I didn't want to get copyright struck. Okay, all right.
Bro, no one's mad that you're back. No one's mad. No one's mad. They don't want you to stay in jail forever. They just want you to take some accountability. That's all. I'm not the perfect person. I'm not the perfect parent. Lord knows I have made tons of mistakes. And we all make mistakes. We're all human beings. But girl, if you would have taken just a speck, micro dust of responsibility and accountability here, the internet would not be so pissed off right now. You know, maybe if you said, I have a drinking problem and I need to go into a program so that this doesn't happen again, or I need to take a parenting class so this doesn't happen again, or I need to find a sitter that is more accommodating to my schedule so this doesn't happen again, your audience would be there to support you because we all make mistakes. This video ain't it. I'll tell you that. I've been a little in my feelings about this video for like 24 hours. I'm not even gonna lie.
All right. So yeah, I think I got the. I know. Since she had her face, I might as well do the hand gestures. Yeah, I get the gist of it. Hey, Duchess, how are you? Yeah, no, that was definitely not. That was definitely a troll. You know, they got nothing better to do, but it's all right. It's all right. We just say to people like we say, pobrecito. You know how people will be like, bless her heart, like in Spanish, pobrecito. Same difference. Hi, sunshine state of mind. Thank you. So, oh, I forgot to do the obligatory. What's on my eyes? I used my You Can Be is an Amazon brand. Love it. Anybody who hasn't tried You Can Be, they're so inexpensive and I love their quality. So I use their exotic flavors palette, and then I used CXC, which is an indie brand. I use their April showers for the shimmers. So that's what's on my eyes, and just a Maybelline liquid lipstick. So thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Oh, really? Oh, see, that's creepy. That's creepy. Yes, right? I agree. She does look healthy. So, okay, I want to preface this by saying um I've been watching a lot of content. People that may be new here may not know that I was once a really big Jessica Kent fan, and I don't want any hate sent to her. I don't think I've ever said that once. Please don't send hate to whoever we talk about. But I did see somebody, people, somebody was in Nicole's chat earlier and was saying that we're all reciting the same talking points. And I think that she missed the point that a lot of people are asking for a little bit of honesty and accountability. So it may seem like we're all stating the same talking points because, yeah, like, be honest. You know what I mean? Your whole channel is on being honest. So, for those who don't know Nicole, hey, Cam, focus. Nicole she used to be Discovering with Nicole. Her channel, she had 25 plus K subscribers. Her channel was taken down. So she rebranded, created another channel, and she has it called Nicole's Accountability with TEA. And I found her months ago when she was on Luke's panel, and I liked the way she spoke. I liked her whole vibe, so I started following her. I subscribed, and then I started watching all her videos and all of this stuff, and I gained a lot of perspective. As I said, I was a Jessica Kent fan for a long time. Um, and I saw as everything was coming out little by little, I stayed silent through it all because at first I didn't want to believe it. I was like, I know how things happen on the internet. Somebody says something and it becomes fact, it becomes truth. So I didn't want to do that. I wanted to wait till more things came out or facts. And then Mindy came dropping receipts, and then it was kind of undeniable for me. Um, and so I've watched a lot of Nicole, and I really enjoy Nicole. So I know this video is going to come across as biased, but I'm trying to be as honest and respectful as I can in this video because, as I said, I was a huge Jessica Kent fan for years. And I know that nobody's perfect. What am I freezing again? Oh, Lord of mercy. I hope I'm not freezing again. Yeah. I know. I know, Bliss, but you know what to do, Mama. You know what to do. So, I did a video a while ago, just giving my opinion, a pre-recorded video about Jessica Kent, and then I reacted. I did a live reacting to WildFlower Tea's video on Jessica Kent, and I've been watching all of this take place now in real time. Um, with the latest things that went on with Jessica Kent. So I'm going to start from when Jessica Kent came out with the video about Reese, the recent update, because I feel like it'll be me just harping on stuff that many of us, hopefully most of us, have already heard. Um, so Jessica Kent made an update video about Reese having been arrested, I think May 22nd. Don't quote me on the dates because I lose track of time. But she made a video saying she's giving an update. All right, hold on, guys. I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna have to turn on subscriber only mode. Sorry, guys. This is ridiculous. And targeting Bliss Chris, like, y'all just so ridiculous. So ridiculous. And I'm sorry that I even have to take time out to even do this, but I think I don't know if one of my mods can do it, but I'll just do it myself real quick. It's ridiculous, man. Sorry, guys. I don't really know how to do all of this. I suck at this, guys. I suck at this shit. Sorry, guys. So sorry. So sorry. How do I do this? Shit. Probably by the time I do this, one of my mods already did it and put it on damn subscriber only mode. Let me see. Did one of you guys do it already? Yes, I am, Mama T. I'm going to do it right now. Okay. So, all right. Thank you, Vera. Yeah, because listen, y'all know it'll take me 4 months to do it. Thank you, Vera. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. Hi, Happy Being Me. Yeah, thank you so much. And hi to anybody that came in that I didn't see. I apologize. Yes, okay. Thank you, Shay. Thank you guys so much. Listen, I like to keep it open, but I don't. Nobody got time for that, you know. Okay. So lost my train of thought. Okay. So Reese, she did a video with an update and talking about his arrest, right? Nicole is a creator who has been holding her feet to the fire. Okay. And so I am a person, for new subscribers, I am a woman in recovery. Okay. I've been in recovery for 22 years and I talk a lot about recovery on my channel. I do commentary. I don't have a specific thing that I do on my channel and just all over the place, wherever it goes. But recovery is definitely a huge part of my channel, a huge part of my life in general. So I know how important it is, especially when you're talking about something as important as your recovery, how important it is for you to be honest, for your reputation to be one of being honest. And of course, people will question you, especially when they find out you were an addict. Sometimes people change with you. You know, they, for lack of a better word, you could be somebody who they would never have thought was an addict, but once they find out you were, then their whole perception of you changes. I've had that happen to me. I've had that done to me with doctors and all kinds of stuff. So I get that. So sometimes you still always have to prove yourself. But I think it's important that when you say things about your recovery and stuff, that you're honest, that you're not caught in lies about your recovery. And again, relapse is nothing to be ashamed of. Relapse is a part of addiction. It happens. But I think it's important. I think it's important to be honest. Sorry. Sorry, that troll just got me kind of thrown off my game. Okay. So I did take notes. Listen, I did take notes because I never take notes, but I took notes because I just wanted to make sure I didn't forget any points. Again, please don't send hate to anyone. Thank you, Dee Dee. Thank you so much for becoming a member. You are now an official canceled Sweetie Pie. And I have members only lives every Monday. There's a whole bunch of members only lives. That's where we talk our ish. That's where we vent. That's where we get messy. That's where we get messy. So thank you so much for becoming a member. I appreciate that. So she did a video where she said he got arrested, basically because of, I don't know if she insinuated it, or, in my opinion, okay. Remember, we're going to talk some facts, but then we're also going to state opinions. Opinions are not facts, okay? So I'll let you know when it's my opinion, and then I'll let you know when it's a fact, okay? So she made this video and kind of insinuated that he was in all this trouble because of issues that had to do with her. She spoke about him being found with drugs. She spoke about him having a pew pew, YouTube doesn't like the other word, and discharging of the weapon and all of this stuff. But she left a lot of the context and important details out. Details that, in my opinion, would have changed it. Again, I don't think anybody should be discharging a weapon. You fire in the air, it has to come back down. You fire at the ground, it could ricochet. I understand that. But I also understand, thank you, Mama T. I also understand that people that are in active addiction, people that are in relapse, are not thinking clearly. Okay. People that have PTSD, they react differently. And so Nicole went afterwards and she read his arrest, what he was actually arrested for, and it was steroids, the drugs. It wasn't like methamphetamines, it wasn't cocaine. And in my opinion, that changes it. It's not like he had a whole bunch of drugs, kilos in his house. So that kind of changed it for me. And also the whole situation, yes, the whole situation surrounding this. So she said he was arrested because a vet. She made it clear to say that this was a veteran, right? That went to check on him to do a welfare check. She omitted that it was Jason, her current boyfriend, that sent this gentleman. She also omitted that this gentleman has a record. I have a record. I'm a felon. Um, I'm only saying it because it's important. It's an important piece of the puzzle of the information that should have been relayed. This is a 400-pound man. It's not a meek, mild little dude. You go to somebody's house at 1 a.m., you knock on the door and you say you're sent by Jason. Jason, your ex's boyfriend. They had just sent him a picture antagonizing him. Oh, thank you, Jenny Lee, for renewing your membership. Now you are also a canceled shorty pie again. Thank you. I appreciate that. Hi, Becky G. And anybody else that came in, hello. Nice to have you guys. Okay, so she omitted that part, right? I think that changes the whole situation. Somebody coming to your house at 1 a.m. and saying that somebody that you're in a custody battle with, they're fighting for visitation, which is custody in essence, sends somebody. Wait, she implied also that the fellow vet. Yes, I'm going to get to that. Thank you so much. Thank you for the super chat. And that's important. She implied that the vet was a friend of Reese's, and the vet did not know Reese at all. The vet was a friend of Jason. Why this is important? Because you're going to be on high alert if your ex is your ex is online saying that you're all these things, you've done all these things to them. Thank you, Happy Being Me, for renewing your membership. I appreciate you guys so much. It's something totally different. Your whole reaction and response is going to be different. Had it been a friend of Reese's, I think he would have reacted totally different. Right now, I know that it wasn't a friend, so I can kind of surmise that he would have reacted totally different had it been a friend of his. It is somebody that is your ex's boyfriend. Like, come on, sends this dude at 1 a.m. Who comes at 1 a.m. with good intentions? Unless it's a family member that is legitimately worried for you. So in my opinion, there's two motives, okay? I think that Jessica has two motives, and this is just my conspiracy. Again, this is my opinion. This is not fact, okay? I think that she has two reasons, two motives, right? This is the court of public opinion. So we have to talk about motive. Well, not sometimes people get convicted without motive, but I think we got two motives here. The first is vindication, right? She wants to be able to say, see, look, he got arrested. Look at him. He's not well online because people have been questioning. Why are you putting this out here? All of these things that people, criticism, valid criticism that people have been giving her, this is kind of vindication in her eyes. Look, 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 he's not well. Look what he's done, right? So that she can have support or feel validated in the things that she said and done to Reese online. The second motive is more personal. It has to do with the custody. He's going to jail, so that looks bad on him with the judge, with the custody fight and all of that. And there may even be a third motive, just straight up anger, just straight up anger. But those are the two strongest motives for me. It makes him look bad in court, fighting for custody for the girls, and it makes him look bad or worse in her eyes in the court of public opinion. So those are the two motives why I think she may have done it. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to see the chat now because I haven't been paying attention. Sorry, guys. Sorry. I promise I'm going to pay attention. Yes, I would too. I would too. This man has PTSD. She's said it herself, and he reacted poorly. Yes, he reacted poorly. But I think they pushed his buttons on purpose. She knows which buttons to press. I want to make this clear too, before I even go further. I meant to say this in the beginning. Please do not misunderstand. I am not saying that she didn't experience DV, that she didn't experience any of the things that she's alleged she's experienced. I would never victim shame or victim blame. Okay? But we questioning things that don't make sense, questioning holes in stories does not equate to us not believing abuse. So I want to say that. I want to get that out the way because I don't want anybody later on to say that that's what I was up here doing. That's not what I'm doing. Okay, I don't even really want to touch on that. I think that they both have issues that they need to work out because it has been alleged that Jason, her current boyfriend, suffered a black eye at her hands because he relapsed and she punched him in the eye. Again, that's alleged. But so I know I am a woman, okay, and I've shared this many times. Again, I reiterate things for people that are new, may not have heard it. I have 9 brothers. I have 5 sons. I know how women can be. I'm a woman. I know situations that I have family have been in with women when they're dealing with custody battles, when they're, women know we can call the police and say he punched us. And there's been plenty of stories here on YouTube and videos of women hitting themselves in elevators, harming themselves, then calling the police and saying their boyfriends, husbands, significant others have done it. That is not what I'm saying she's done, not at all. But I'm saying I've seen that happen. And I know that 2 people can take part in it. You understand? So I wanted to make that clear because I don't want that to be said that I'm over here saying that that's not a thing. That's not a thing. So, okay, I'm just checking to see what my peoples is saying. Sorry. This is going to be a wild boy troubles. I am beyond blessed that my 26-year-old granddaughter posts. Oh, good, Joe. Talk to the grandbaby. Trust me, you could catch me on replay, girl. Family, personal lives are always more important than YouTube. It'll always be here. I don't take my videos down, so you can always catch it on replay. Yes, I know, Shay. You've been dealing with some real life stuff, girl. It's a lot. It's a lot, girl. It's a lot. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Dee Dee, and I appreciate that. And I'm a hot mess, far from perfect, but I'm an honest hot mess. I am. That's why my mouth gets me in trouble sometimes. Well, a lot of times. As a mother of 4 sons, I'm terrified about that kind of shit. Yes, so am I. None of my sons are married or have children, thank God. I'm hoping that they wait till they're ready or, and things happen. You can be ready and still relationships fall apart. But I'm hoping that they're at an emotional place where they're able to tackle anything that may come with that and ready to be dads and all of that stuff. And so I'm very proud of my sons that they aren't dads yet, because I think they need to live their young lives. They're in their 20s. My youngest is 18. Enjoy their freedom and then have families later on. But I know I've also shared, trigger warning, I had a cousin that lost his life behind DV. His girlfriend had loose hands and would put her hands on him often, and he got tired of it, and he hit her. And her mother came and defended her daughter with a firearm, and my cousin lost his life. So I've shared that many times as well, because it's very serious. I don't take DV lightly. I don't ever shame any victim, and I would never shame Jessica Kent. I wouldn't do that. But I think that she's very manipulative, and the things that she's done and said to Reese also aren't okay. Um, there are some parallels and things that I want to share. Okay. Um, Recently, last September, I left my husband. My husband watches. He's probably in the bushes watching now. My husband watches almost all my lives. So um, it's okay. You know, I don't share too much, but this is something I've already shared. I don't share any new information of his because it's not my story to tell. But um, in September past, I left my home, and removed myself, me and my youngest son, from our home in Brooklyn, because my husband had relapsed, and it our lives were toxic. It became too hard, right? So I removed myself. I came to Jersey, and I'm staying with my sons, who graciously came to pick me up, me and my son, and we've been staying here since September. So I can empathize and I can relate to having someone that you love um, relapse. And I can also understand that what he does or what happens to him affects her. But I think the way she's handled it, and she has a ginormous audience. And I think it's been really harmful. I've spoken about my husband, but very respectfully, and I've never given details. I've never come and told stories of incidents that happened at home, because I think that he deserves an expectation of privacy, and my sons are an extension of me and of him. So whatever I put out here in the universe publicly about my husband reflects on my children, and it affects their level of privacy. Um, So I understand her sharing certain aspects of that. Again, it's in the presentation, it's in the way you share it. And so I can understand, right? But she has put this man down. She's shown him in some of the worst times of his life. Um, and she's not thinking about her children. My sons are all grown. My sons are all adults now. Her daughters are young. And she does see the criticism, because she's in Nicole's comment section immediately after Nicole finishes her live. She was in Nicole's chat on TikTok. I have screenshots of that. So she watches the criticism, she watches the videos, and she answers to them. But she doesn't seem to understand. Like, she got criticism. Why are you sharing this? You're putting this out, your daughters, for your daughters in the future to see. She said, my daughters witnessed this in real time. Yes, they did, as did my sons. And how I choose to handle that with my sons is, my sons need therapy. They need to know that they can talk to someone. There's certain things about their father that should never be put online, because again, it affects them. And the way children perceive and view things will be very different than the way they view it as adults. They may not even remember it as it happened. And as parents, we want to shield our kids as much as possible. We should want to shield our kids as much as possible. So just because your kids saw it in real time doesn't mean they should have to relive it again. Sorry, doesn't mean they should have to relive it again online. Again, I know I shouldn't tell people how to react. And this is just if I could give a little bit of advice. I said I suffer from foot and mouth syndrome. I've come and I've said things that I shouldn't have shared, um, but I learned from it. And I think that her daughters deserve the expectation of privacy. This is their father. Regardless of what he's done, our children love us. I loved my mother. My mother was an addict and we went through a lot of trauma. And when we were removed from my mother, there were months where we just, every time somebody knocked on the door, we looked, hoping it was my mother. And we had just gone through the worst of the worst trauma. But we were still kids who just wanted our mother. And kids love their parents no matter what. And kids shouldn't be burdened with adult situations and with adult conversations. Hey, Nicole, how are you, beautiful girl? And I just think that that's important. And I just think that the way she keeps handling the situation is very manipulative. Um, and again, that's just my opinion. Okay. So I wanted to share a few of these. Again, I did source where I got the stuff. Of course, I sourced Nicole's channel down below. I really enjoy Nicole. So her channel is in the description of this video. I sourced where I played the short. And I sourced the JKentsnark Reddit because they have a lot of the receipts there. And I go there and I see a lot of stuff there. So I did source them because I got some of these screenshots from there as well. So it's important to source where you get stuff from, just be stealing people's shit because that ain't cool. So these were the first that this was, what is the first one I want to share? Okay. Excuse me. So Nicole read out the arrest of Reese and put things into perspective for us. She added the context and filled in the gaps of the things that Jessica Kent didn't tell us. So this was what Jessica Kent messaged Nicole. Okay. So it says, sorry, let me turn off my camera because I gotta come super close. It says Reese was checked on one time in a non-threatening way for a valid reason. I have at least 24 more, I think. Ring doorbells of cops sent by Reese or Reese on my property, despite the protection order. You're wrong for assuming that Jason set him up or was harassing Reese, who already had an active warrant before that night. Reese's inability to control his own anger is no one's fault but his. Sorry, this is the continuation. Reese's inability to control his own anger is no one's fault but his own. He's dangerous. A detective will be reaching out to you, I believe, because that report wasn't supposed to be released yet. Another reason why I didn't include what I couldn't say publicly or see, which I think she meant to say per se. And then Nicole simply replies, okay. Okay. So this is what she says. Remember, Jessica Kent had already released her video telling about Reese's arrest and all of this stuff. So Nicole reads it and again fills in the gaps. So this is what she DMs her, but Nicole, of course, busted her because under the video that that Jessica Kent did, someone asked her, why are you putting this out in the public? Shame on you. Think of your daughters. You have no right to do this to them. And Jessica Kent said, it's public record. I don't lie to my kids. They know now that if someone treats you like this, it's not normal and you need to leave. Okay? So this is what she said. So if it's public record, then why would you threaten? Because even if it's a veiled threat, it's a threat, right? Why would you threaten Nicole for putting all of the pieces together and outing it all the way it should have been outed in the first place? When you got criticism in your own video, you said it was public record, but Nicole putting it out there wasn't public record. A detective, so that detective needs to reach out to you too then, right? What that was, again, in my opinion, was her trying to intimidate Nicole into taking down that video and to silencing her. Again, with great, what is this shit called? Whatever. With great responsibility comes with, great audience. I can't remember the damn saying. Y'all know what the hell I'm saying, okay? Y'all know what the hell I'm saying. She has an enormous audience, and she has an obligation to be honest. Had she not wanted, or she couldn't share it all, then she shouldn't have shared any of it. She should have waited till she was able to do it the right way and then make the video. But in my opinion, she was salivating at the thought of being able to come and throw him under the bus yet again. Oh, look, and vindicate herself. I told you guys, see you guys, like, shame on you for coming at me. Shame on you. Look, he's a piece of shit. Look, he's in jail now. Because she even said that. I told you guys. Two things can be right at the same time. And Nicole even said, two wrongs don't make a right. She's saying, oh, well, and she even put on her story all the times that the cops came. Like, this is on Jessica Kent's story on IG. She shared all the video cam of every time, I guess, Reese came or wellness checks were done and all this stuff to kind of justify Jason having some gentleman, okay, to put it kindly, coming to Reese's home at 1 a.m. and saying, Jason sent me. They knew, in my opinion, that would send him spiraling. And I think that was the true motivation. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you. Yes, that's Nicole's channel. Wait, and y'all are more than welcome to disagree with me. And but I don't, Nicole, because I was in your live earlier. I missed the TikTok, but on YouTube, where that person came in and was saying we all have the same talking points and called you obsessed. And I think that what happens is Jessica Kent and her Ride or Die crew are not used to people holding her feet to the fire. People have made sporadic videos, but you have been consistent in calling out her inconsistencies, and it's important because everyone needs to be held accountable. Because you have a huge audience doesn't make you exempt from having to be honest. And it seems to be a pattern of behavior for me that hasn't changed and has gotten worse. Yeah, Pam, me too. Sadly, history repeats itself. You cannot keep doing the same shit. Exactly. So with that, hey Grace Case, how are you? So nice to see you. Wait, if you don't see your comment, YouTube has been glitching. I've been seeing chats jump and weird. So YouTube is PMSing, acting really, really weird. So it ain't us. Don't take it personally. It's YouTube. You can blame everything on YouTube. But I wanted to talk about kind of like the dry drunk syndrome a little bit. And a dry drunk is just a way to say people that may not be using but exhibit the same behaviors are not working. Those are usually people that are newly abstinent, that aren't working a program, aren't in recovery. Recovery is more than just not using. Recovery is working on yourself internally. Usually people think, okay, I'm gonna gain a little weight, I'm gonna look a little nicer, I'm gonna take care of myself on the outside, and they think that that's enough. That's the easy part, right? That's the easy part. Dressing nicer, painting your nails, making the outside look a little better. The hard part is working on yourself internally. Looking at yourself in a mirror and realizing, holy shit, I've been a terrible human being. Because I know in my addiction, I was a terrible human being. I used to say I was Satan's wife. I was selfish, self-centered. I was a brat. The world revolved around me because my world revolved around my substance. And it was hard to look at myself and say to myself, Cindy, you've become a terrible fucking person. So I don't know. Thank you. I don't know if when I started recovery is regaining something you had lost. But for me, my recovery was regaining something I never had. I was a damaged kid. My mom was an addict. We were removed by children's services, placed into foster care. My dad and my stepmom took us in. I was a damaged kid. I rebelled against everything my parents told me. And then in my early 20s, I started experimenting with drugs. So I don't know if I was ever a good person because I was taught at my earliest years to manipulate, to lie, to steal. Those were the morals or the amorals that I was taught by my mother because that's what my mother did. And I'm not blaming her. May my mother rest in peace. But she was an addict. So she could only give us what she had to give. And so that's what we learned in our formative years, survival of the fittest. So when I started recovery, it was a whole new life for me. It was actually becoming a good person. It wasn't regaining or going back to that good person I used to be because I don't think I was ever a good person. It was learning to live with morals, to be honest, to tell on yourself, to think of others. All of these things I had to learn that I wasn't too familiar with. You know, I still struggle with that when I sit down and think about how I was. And you have to let that guilt go. I know it's easier said than done because it's the same thing with me. It's very hard. But I just really, the first thing I did was I told all my secrets. I sat in groups and I let it all out. I let it all out, and it was so cleansing and it was so freeing. I didn't have to carry that baggage anymore. And I've shared this too. I remember that meeting, the facilitator looked at me and like his jaw dropped. And after the meeting, he called me. He said, "Listen, I think you are confused." And I was like, "Why?" He was like, I think you think that being honest means you have to tell everything you've ever done in your whole life." And I just started laughing and I was like, "I feel better." And he was like, "Okay, that's all that matters then." Because that's what I thought. I thought I had to tell every single secret I had ever, every bad thing I had ever done. But you're a good person today. You learned by your own mistakes. Thank you, Welsh. I appreciate that. Hi, Kira. So, so I say that to say I went all around the world to say that Jessica Kent, um, in my opinion, wants to still live that lifestyle. She's intrigued by that lifestyle, that bad boy, having bad boys around her, that bout it lifestyle. And those two things don't go together. Recovery and hanging out with people that are selling and using, those two things don't go together and shouldn't go together. It's counterintuitive. When you get clean, I can't hang around socially with people that use because what are we talking about? You know what I mean? Like, what conversation are we having? When I was using, I hung out with people that were using because we were like minded. Okay, how are we going to get this money? Where are we going to go cop? Yada, yada, yada. Somebody that's using, unless I'm talking to them and trying to help them, or in moments like that where people share with me their struggles, but I'm talking about socially, chilling at a party together while they're getting high. Why would I do that to myself? That is me jeopardizing my recovery. That means I'm already in relapse mode. Even if I haven't relapsed physically, I relapsed mentally. I should not be putting myself in that situation at all. And I think that Jessica Kent still wants to live that lifestyle. You said Reese was harmful to your daughters, which is a good thing. You should always put your children first. If they're in a toxic situation, environment, remove your children. But if you removed yourself and your children from that environment because it was dangerous and he was using and he was erratic, then you move and you get with a dude that is just recently released from prison. Again, I was in jail, guys. I'm a felon. Okay, I'm not shaming anybody for being a felon or committing crimes. I'm talking about people that don't want to do better and don't want to change. He's selling narcotics, he's using narcotics around your children in your home. What has changed? What's the difference? I don't understand the difference. And maybe I'm dense, but I don't get it. I don't get the difference. I think she was just bored in her relationship. She was already mentally cheating. And I'm not here to talk about cheating because, again, I'm not a moral authority. And that's really none of my business who she want to sleep with. But that is my opinion, that it had to do more with that she was ready to move on. And this was the opportunity. You know what I mean? Sorry. All around, I'm telling you, I go all around the damn world. Thank you. That's just how I feel, you know? The addiction monster in your brain and mine, to be honest, will always try to tell you that this and that is okay. Exactly. If you always try to justify it, it's not that bad. I'm not using. You'll try to find reasons that it is okay to put yourself in those situations, and it's not. It's not. Would you go willingly into a house where you know dudes are playing with weapons openly? No, right? You wouldn't. So why would you put yourself in that position where you could relapse? I don't understand it. And again, I know people are in different places. I know this may sound judgmental, but somebody who's in long-term recovery should know these things, right? Like Jessica Kent, her whole content is helping others on what works in long-term recovery, what works to not go back to prison and all these things. But yet everything she's doing is contradicting what she's saying on her platform. You're in a house with, and again, I'm not downing sex workers. Get your money, girl. I ain't mad at you. But you have sex workers in your home. You have narcotics in and out of your home. You're putting yourself in a position not only to relapse, for your children to be removed. And again, I'm not telling people to call CPS. Don't do that shit. But you're putting yourself in a position for CPS to be called. You're putting yourself in a position to be arrested. Again, all these terrible things that you once went through, that you said you've learned from, you're now putting yourself back in it. And when you do that, it may be time for you to talk to somebody again, start making meetings again, because meetings were important for me. In the beginning of my recovery, I made 90 and 90 every day. I made more than that, guys. I went to a program where we grouped like 5 groups a day, and I went 5 days a week, sometimes 6 days a week, sometimes on Saturdays, and had coffee. I grouped my ass out until, and I loved it. I loved it. Bereavement, relapse prevention, all these things, parenting, all these things. I learned, and I learned how to cope. I learned how to cope with anything. And I think that that's the thing. That for if one thing, if I could give anybody fighting addiction in recovery, one thing that has helped me more than anything else in my recovery is learning to cope. Is learning to cope with anything that life throws at me. Losing my sister, yeah, okay, that didn't make me relapse. Losing my mother, that didn't make me relapse. Those things I thought I would relapse, and I didn't. It's learning to cope. And yes, Elizabeth, people, places, and things. That's why it's said. And it's so important. Those are real things. You can't hang around people that get high. You can't hang around old places like, you get clean and you want to go back to your old stomping grounds to show everybody how good you look. Don't do that shit. You're setting yourself up. You can't do the things you used to do when you got high because you're no longer getting high. It's really that serious, and it's that important. You know, our best thinking got us there. Exactly. Our best thinking, it's about doing something different. What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. That is the definition of insanity. That is the definition of addiction. You can't do the same things and expect that it's going to be different because you're clean now, because you look good, because you've gained some weight. No, that's stinking thinking. All these cliches that we say when we're in recovery, it's true. It's stinking thinking. You get the fuck it's. You're already in relapse mentally. Meetings, education, etc. is staying in recovery. Recovery requires active participants. It's like taking your medicine for an allergy, exactly, or chronic illness. I will be in recovery for the rest of my life. you know Hi, Impeach, how are you? Happy Friday. Thank you. Thank you. You know, I will always. Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm. She disrespected. I don't. She disrespected that SW so much. Oh, the sex work. I know. I know. I know she put her business out there too. I know, man. It's listen, and that's the thing. Sometimes, you have to be very careful. This is so important, Karen. I know you're not saying it, but boundaries, right? You have to give people the expectation of privacy. Everything I say here affects everyone that loves me, everyone that knows me. Everything I share here, it affects my children, it affects my husband, it affects my family, my extended family, my immediate family, my friends, everybody, right? So I have to be aware of that. And when I shared about my husband, it was because somebody that I confided in privately was leaking it to people that didn't like me online. Excuse me. So I felt it necessary to get in front of it and tell my husband's story before somebody else told it and didn't tell it the way it happened. But I was never going to come and share my husband's story because it wasn't my story to tell. And I felt really guilty about coming and sharing my husband's story. And again, my husband watches my channel. He knows everything I've shared. He understands why I shared it. And he knows that everything I've shared has been honest and with respect for him. Again, he's the father of my children. Like, meetings really helped at first, and I did a lot of them in the beginning. Baltimore sometimes isn't the best place for meetings, though. Then my sponsor relapsed, and I moved to online meetings. And I did recovery groups. I didn't do NA and AA. For me, in New York, the meetings that I went to in NA were very judgmental. Um, and I'm not downing NA or AA. I'm not. It just wasn't for me. Like, I say recovery isn't one size fits all. It isn't. So it wasn't for me. So I went to another route and I made meetings, groups. I did groups, relapse prevention groups, and all this stuff. And that was the right fit for me. And I enjoyed it. I looked forward to making those groups. It was intimate settings, and I even began facilitating groups, and that's where I found my passion for working in recovery. And I got my certifications in HIV training and education and all of that, because it's something that is important to me and means a lot to me. you know you're not using until you say you can't get out of bed unless you have it, then boom, full-blown relapse. Oh my God, yes. And you don't see it. It sneaks up on you. You think I could use one time, and you don't realize until that's it, you're all the way back in your addiction. And you're just like, "God, what the fuck, how did I get here?" It's insidious. It sneaks up on you, and until you're caught all over again. To me, addiction is the devil. It just will destroy you. It will destroy you. It will destroy everything you love. And I take it very serious. And that's why I say addiction is a matter of life and death. It is also fixing the things in my life, which led me to using drugs. I nearly lost my shit when I had my transplant because I had to have narcotics for the surgery. I had like a whole planning team. Yeah, Duchess, 20 March made 27 years. And that was horrible to have to leave my home and leave my husband. That was the hardest thing I've ever done. And it was the right thing to do. It was the right thing to do. Um, so I know what she's going through, and that's why I'm not trying to dog her out, but also she's not being honest. When things started trickling out, when she came for Mandy and Mandy clapped back with the receipts, I think that she really thought that she could just do whatever she wanted. She didn't expect for Mindy to clap back. And stuff was trickling out. She said she didn't have a problem with alcohol, and then she admitted she has a problem with alcohol. And in those texts with Mindy, she admitted so much about the Adderall and all this stuff. And that is using, if you're buying Adderall, that's using, you're already in relapse. And she won't admit it to anyone else, and she won't admit it to herself. So when she says that about other people, when she said that about that digital princess, that she needs to be honest, that her audience would forgive her, she needs to take her own advice. Because I think that all of this would have been way different when all of this came out. Had Jessica said, listen, yes, I have a issue, I have a problem, I'm sorry, I'm going to take a moment to collect myself, start making meetings again, whatever that looked like to her, right? If it had to be inpatient, it didn't have to be inpatient, outpatient, whatever that looked like. But she didn't do that. Instead, she kept saying, oh, that's not me, I'm not there. But everything that she said out of her mouth, everything she showed was way different than what she was saying. And I know when I was trying to convince my parents, my stepmom and my dad, that I was clean when I wasn't, I was doing a hell of a lot of lip service and would get angry when they didn't believe me. And it was only when I was truly in recovery that I didn't try to convince them, not once verbally. I said, you know what? I'm going to have to show them. I'm going to have to show them, and I'm going to have to show myself. And that's what I did. And I didn't expect it to happen overnight for my parents to say, give me a round of applause for having 1 day clean, 2 days clean. No, the damage that I inflicted on everyone I love would take years to rectify. And that is also an entitled thing, that you came and you lied to your audience and you expect everybody to automatically forget about it. That's not how life works. It's going to take work and time for people to believe you, for you to build your reputation. And somebody who's actively trying to destroy the father of their children, to me, that speaks against everything that you've learned in recovery. I could never come here and do that to my husband, because I know what recovery is. I know what addiction does. So I wouldn't. And there were times where I was angry at my husband, many times. But I would never come here and spew that here, because he doesn't deserve that. I know firsthand what it's like when I was using, how out of my mind I was. So I'm hurt for him. I know he's struggling. I know that he's battling his own demons. And it hurt me to come here and put him on blast and even have to tell anybody that my husband's in relapse. And when I had to come and say I left, that was excruciating to me. So imagine to him, that's out here on the internet. And I feel bad about that. But there were some things that were unavoidable. And I think that she's enjoying putting him down and throwing him under the bus. You know, that's just my opinion. Actually, sometimes Jessica would trigger me. I'm like yelling at the video and I had to unsub. I get it. I get it. Thank you, Duchess. Yes, I agree, Dee Dee. I agree. Probably saved her life. And the way she did Mindy, somebody that went there to detox, and then she relapsed there. And I know that we have our recovery is our personal responsibility. But I'm also not going to say that if you go somewhere when you're detoxing, this is like fresh, right? Your body's still going through it, you mentally still going through it, and you go somewhere to get away from it, and you go into a home where allegedly it's all there, people are partying, and she relapses, and then you throw her under the bus as if her relapsing, she did something to you, and you omit again that it was because your boyfriend was supplying it to her, allegedly. Like, it's the dishonesty for me. It's the being so quick to throw people under the bus. The things that she's done to Nicole. She, listen, Nicole has 1K, subscribers, right? Nicole had 25K. Nicole is starting back up again. And Jessica pays attention to every video and live she does. I'm telling you, when she did that post that video reading Reese's arrest, Jessica was quick in her comment section. Her TikTok today, I have screenshots, I got it from Reddit, of Jessica in her comment section saying that she recorded, she has Nicole recorded when Nicole was very honest on her channel and said, I spoke to Jason for over an hour on the phone. So I don't know what she thought she was doing by saying that in the chat. I have your, your conversation with Jason recorded. Nicole said she spoke to him for an hour. And then I saw someone in Nicole's chat say that in Illinois, it's illegal to record a call unless both parties know about it. And I think that she's running scared because Nicole is holding her ass to the fire. And I don't think that Nicole is bullying her or harassing her. I think that she's calling her out on her shit, and sometimes it hurts. I've had people call me out on my shit. Trust me. You know what I mean? And some of it was valid. Some of it was valid. Exactly. You can't just do it at all. I relapsed once. I don't count it. You just can't do it at all. I relapsed once. I don't count that time because it was years long. So July 3rd is 8 years from my fiance and I solid. Congratulations, Elizabeth. That's amazing. 8 years is amazing. That's truly amazing. Every day is a blessing. That's why I keep my recovery so close to me, because I know one time and it's over for me. I am an all or nothing person. I have an addictive personality. I can't socially or recreationally use. I am an addict. I am predisposed to be an addict. My mother was an addict. Her father was an addict. My children are predisposed to having addiction in some form or fashion. So I know that. I don't fuck around. I smoke my cigarettes, which I'm trying to quit. I don't even smoke ganja because it used to get me paranoid years ago. But I know I can't do it. A couple of years ago, I needed a surgery and I was terrified and didn't get the surgery because I didn't want to be on narcotics. I did not want to take Percocets or any of those pain medications because I was so scared of it putting me back to that place I was 22 years ago. I almost died. I had to be intubated 3 times. It's only by the grace of God that I'm here, and I don't take that for granted. I take my recovery extremely serious. Yes, and they need to until she's able to admit that she fucked up. Hi, Teresa. How are you? Oh my God, I'm so sorry. That's horrible. Losing power, I can't. Being here with no lights, no, thank you. Typical Jen Bailey move so quickly to throw others under a bus. She should be maintaining her own issues. And I agree. And that's, I think, what's important. She needs to focus on herself. And let's say, okay, that she wants to share her experience with and everything that happened with Reese. My opinion would be to wait till their emotions aren't so raw. It is new. It is happening in real time, right? So I think that is the best advice I could give, to wait until you've had time to process it, till it's not newly happening, and then see how you feel. Sleep on it, sit on it, because she's reacting. She's in fight or flight mode right now. She's getting people that are calling her out, and she doesn't like it. But it's not fair to do that, because it's not as if I could understand her continuing it if, let's say, Reese was online, also on YouTube or on TikTok, making TikToks, coming back and forth with her, right? If he was disputing it and then she had to dispute something he said, even though that doesn't work either, trust me, been there, done that. Somebody makes a video, you react, they react, you react, it gets worse and worse and worse till y'all calling each other all kinds of bitches. Yes, been there. I spent the week there, still got the t-shirt. So I don't want to do that anymore. And I think that she needs to stop, because he's not doing that. He's not publicly out here sharing with anybody. So it's one-sided, and it's coming across bad because it seems vindictive. It seems vindictive. It's coming across as very vindictive. She could have told Mandy, sorry, I have a lot going on right. Exactly. Exactly. She could have said, you can't come over right now. I'm sorry. Whatever. The same way she put her in a hotel. She could have put her in a hotel for a few nights if she wanted to do that or whatever. She could have just said no. And none of this would have happened. And then you expected her to sign an NDA and then you're gonna put her on blast and try to get people not to support her business, fuck with her money, and expect her to still keep silent. Like the level of entitlement. Yes, yes, I know, Elizabeth. And that's what Nicole said. For somebody who's not bothered or not worried, you're keeping really close tabs on Nicole. And if what Nicole's saying is wrong and lies, then just focus. Let me tell you something. Nicole would be to Jessica Ken, I guess what people on YouTube call a detractor, right? I don't watch. I have a few detractors, people that don't like me. I don't watch their videos because I know it makes me react. It does. That's when I come here and I say the stupidest shit. Is when I watch negative videos about myself. So I don't watch them. I don't watch them. My friends don't even tell me about them anymore because they know it makes me show my ass. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to fight with people. Sometimes I'm gonna come and say some shit, but I don't want to fight with people needlessly over people's opinion. Let them have their opinion. On YouTube, you can't stop people. You can't stop people from having their opinion, and you drive yourself crazy the more you try. And sometimes the more you try to combat what people say, the more it fuels them. And I'm not saying that's what's happening with Nicole. Nicole just, in my opinion, wants her to take responsibility for what she said and for the lies. In my opinion, the lies. And it's not about even if she relapsed. It's about you having this platform where you've built your reputation on being open and honest. And you can't be open and honest. You owe it to your subscribers. You owe it to your subscribers to be honest with them. They come and they go to bat for her. And you're not even being honest with them. People that have come to me, I am so grateful for people that have shared their stories with me privately. I could never sit here and disrespect them by me pretending that I'm in recovery if I'm not. That would just be so disrespectful to them. And I don't understand how she doesn't get that. She doesn't see that. She doesn't see that, or she just doesn't care. And that's what happens sometimes with creators. You get so big and you get so many subscribers and so many followers that you forget that it doesn't matter. Your subscribers are still what keeps us afloat. All creators, no matter how big or small you are. And it can all be lost. I don't know. And all the food we have to cook besides bananas. Oh, that's the worst. When you have to run and try to get ice and put everything on ice, especially like, let's say you're somebody that keeps your fridge stocked, you know what I mean? And you have to now, that's horrible. And people that live on a budget, you know what I mean? Your food goes bad and you budget your money and you can't afford to replace all the groceries. That's horrible. There has to be some kind of compensation for that. I'm sorry. Somebody need to compensate me for my damn food that went bad. I don't know. Hi, what the F? She needs to start being honest with herself and stop lying. And I agree. And she gets so angry, so angry that people expect her to be honest. And I don't expect her to come and tell everything or everything that goes on in her life. I don't expect her to come and say, oh, CPS was at my house yesterday. Every time that happens, for her to come and openly, you don't have to tell everybody all your business. That's not the point. But you don't come and tell a lie, or you don't come and tell half truths, or you don't come and tell stuff and omit crucial details. The things that she omitted about Reese were important details. It would have changed the whole story, but that wasn't her point in telling it. It was to continue to make Reese look like a piece of shit. And I understand that he's put her through hell. I get that. I think that they're both going through shit. And didn't fit her story, because again, it was to come here and say, ha, ha, y'all been coming at me, and look, he's in jail now, and look, he's violent, and look what he's doing. But had she told that your boyfriend sent somebody, a big ass dude, an intimidating dude, to his house at 1 o'clock in the morning to say, Jason sent me. That right there, I would have been like, oh shit, well, what you coming to do? You coming to whip my ass? Or there's nothing good that I would have thought about that. That's like somebody that's fighting with me, and they come knocking my house. Somebody comes knocking my house and say, yeah, such and such that you've been fighting with sent me here. What am I gonna think? They came to bring me flowers? The fuck? No. No, they came to do harm to me. 1 o'clock in the morning. Like, it's crazy. And the thing is that, had she not done that, Nicole wouldn't have felt the need to read the exact details. She's shooting herself in the foot. So she's blaming Nicole. She said, and she also said, why are people telling my life? And because you're telling the story and you're leaving things out. You're telling your story. Oh, that's my life. Stop talking about, I have so many people commenting and making videos about my life, because you're sharing this stuff and you're not telling the whole story, or you have an agenda. So people are going to call you out on that. That's just the way it works. If you don't want it out there, don't share it at all. Because had she not come, she didn't have to update people. Oh, look, 3 days ago, he was arrested. Had she not done that, people wouldn't have sent Nicole the freaking record for her to correct the information. I don't get the disconnect there with her. She doesn't see that. She doesn't see that. She can't be mad because people are critiquing her or talking about how leaving things out, omitting, is deceptive. It is deceptive, because you're spinning a story, you're weaving a story so people can see it the way you want it to be seen. You come, you put the information out as is, you allow people to see it how they see it, their perspective of things, but you don't feed them. You don't spoon feed people the information so that they see it exactly how you want them to see it. That is deceptive, in my opinion. It's even more horrible when you have no money to order out. When I say I'm broke, I'm broke. I have $3 until I get my disability money. That's horrible, Teresa. See, shit like that gets me mad. And this is the thing. There's, you know, I'm so sorry, Teresa. That's horrible. There's people that are on fixed incomes. And I don't understand. Fucking your power goes out and it's just like, I don't know what to tell you. Yes, Wanda. I love the squirrels too. I love when she uploads about her little squirrels and her bunnies. Exactly. She's not honest with herself. We don't need to know every detail, but also don't omit details to change the story. And that's it. What the F? Had she not came and spoken about Reese, there would have been nothing for Nicole to come and correct. Honestly. Honestly. Because Nicole's not going to come and out Reese's record like, oh, look, he was arrested 3 days ago. And this is what she wouldn't have done that. But because Jessica Kent came and told the story and made it look some way and left out the most important details of the story. And then when she got called out, then went into Nicole's comment section saying there were reasons why she didn't tell that, and she planned on doing a whole entire video. Then all of it should have waited. All of it should have waited. You didn't tell these details. No, that's bullcrap, in my opinion. You shouldn't have said it at all if you were not going to tell it as it is, truthfully. Now she's backpedaling and trying to make excuses. Oh, I was going to do a whole video. There was reasons why I didn't tell those details. In my opinion, yeah, we know the reason. We know the reason, because you were being dishonest and you were painting it in your favor. That, look, he is doing this to me, and it wasn't that way. He felt threatened and he reacted poorly. Yes, I'm not defending shooting, whatever. I'm not. But also that changes the whole story. It makes me understand he was fearful, he overreacted, you know. But you have to be honest. That's it, in my opinion. And I hate that I even have to come here and say this, but it needs to be said. And I'm not a moral authority, guys. I'm not. Far from that shit. But there's certain things that I don't share because I don't want it out there. It's not my story to tell. And things that my husband, I have dealt with my husband, involve my children. And I don't tell stories about my children because they deserve privacy. My husband deserves privacy. No matter what he's going through, no matter what we've been through, he was good enough for me to be with for 2 decades. I saw something amazing in him. Now I'm just gonna dog him when he's down and out because he relapsed? No, no. Especially when I know what addiction looks like, when I know what addiction does to people, I'm gonna come and just rag on him and bash him. And no, I'm not. 90% of it I keep private. I shared with people that I thought were my friends, and I learned from that. I learned from that. If a friend of the guy that's sleeping with my ex and cheated while we were together showed up at my door, I'm not sure what I'd do. Exactly what the F. Exactly. And then to say they found drugs on him, but not to relay that it was steroids. You know, that kind of changes it too. Because it made it seem like he was in a drug-induced stupor. Like, let's be honest. Because I thought, okay, he was out of his mind. When I heard Jessica's video, I'm like, wow, he thought it was the Wild Wild West. That was the picture I got in my mind. Listening to her story, I'm like, he's at the OK Corral, like, pow, 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 like Yosemite Sam. You know what I mean? I thought he was probably high out of his mind and was just like spinning his revolvers and shit. That's the fucking picture I got in my head. And it wasn't that way. He was probably scared and bugging. And that's the thing. It changes the whole thing. And it's not right to do that to somebody that is the father of your children. Regardless, he's the father of your children. And that's why you don't talk about it until you heal from it. Because the way you address it will be completely different. And I'm not saying she doesn't have the right to come and talk about things that she's going through with her audience, but you have the obligation to do it honestly and in a way that protects your daughters. They're minors. Doesn't matter if they saw it in real time. What does that mean? What does that even mean? My daughter saw it in real time. Okay. And so you're going to subject them to all over again? No. You want them to work through it with through the proper channels, right? Counseling, therapy, all of that. Not for it to be immortalized on the internet forever. And once you've put it out there, people have the right to come and give their opinions. I don't think I'm attacking you. I think that I'm trying to like wake you up. Like, I don't want her to be canceled. I don't want her to be removed from the internet. I don't think that should be done to anybody. Just be honest. I think it would have been so much easier and people would have been so understanding and so forgiving, like she said in that video, in that short. That did not age well. And I'm going to play it again because it did not age well. Reese is no angel, but not as bad as what she's saying. A cop wellness check is different from Jason's friend. Exactly. Even if Reese sent 14 wellness checks. Exactly. Did he send randos? Did Reese send randos to her crib? Because that would be very different, right? That would be very scary, very dangerous. He sent the cops, which I know don't misuse police resources and all of that. But that's very different. And then she's doing the tit for tat, you know? Well, look, he did it. So, but what you did was very different. And I think the intention was I think he's doing it to be a pain in the ass. And probably, I don't know if he's still currently using, but I can say when you're using, you're erratic, you're paranoid, especially with cocaine. Cocaine, you know, there's a thing called drug-induced psychosis, but it is very prevalent with cocaine. When you use cocaine for an extended period of time, you go into psychosis. You start hearing voices. You can have auditory, visual hallucinations. You get paranoid. All of these things, right? So, I And this is the thing: is he paranoid? Is he worried? Is, I don't know if he's using, but I could understand if he is using and he's in that state that he wants to make sure his daughters are fine and all of this, and it doesn't excuse it. Don't waste the resources. But it's very different having the police that are not coming to harm you come to your house and do a wellness check, rather than some rando, some big dude that is a convict. Let's be honest, because I've seen his record and it was on the Reddit. I didn't post it because it has his name, and even if I redacted it, I just felt like I'm not gonna post that on my channel. You know what I mean? Because I didn't like it when it was done to Jackie on a channel long ago. Her record was posted. I just don't feel like I have to do that to make my point. There are other channels that have done it. Nicole does it well, guys. I have her channel linked in my description. You can see Nicole's. She gives updates. You can see it all, hear it all on Nicole's channel, and you can get a greater understanding of what's going on with Jessica Kent and this whole situation through her. I'm giving my perspective on something that I've seen, watching Nicole, watching Jessica Kent, looking at the Jessica Kent Snark Reddit, and watching other creators and stuff. So this is just my opinion. So, but Nicole is like directly involved, like she has people giving her information, like, giving her the record, and she has Jessica Kent commenting, DMing her, so she's the go-to person. I'm just giving, again, my opinion. Even if Reese is bad, I believe most of what she says, RE abuse, it affects her kids' identities and self-esteem, seeing all these bad things. And isn't his whole last name out there, which in essence means her daughter's last name is out there, which is harmful and dangerous to her daughters? Like, I don't get it. Your priority should be to be protecting your daughters. And that means in the future, not just past, present, but future. They are minors, and things that happen when kids. I remember things that happened when I was a kid, but I remember it very differently than when I was a kid. There's some stories that my dad and my stepmom tell me about that I remembered very differently from the way it happened. And kids are resilient, and kids should be helped to forget things like that. Not even forget, but to be able to grow from it and thrive regardless. We don't want to harp on trauma and, things that they've been through. We want them to go beyond that as parents. My sons have seen things I wish they hadn't seen, been through things I wish they hadn't been through. And that's why I'm very careful the way I speak about their father here. Because my sons, one of my sons I know watches my channel religiously. My other sons, they can't be bothered. Like, mom talking some shit. One of my sons watches religiously. So I'm very aware of that and very careful. Like I said, my husband watches my channel. My husband watches almost every live I do. He even comes into my chat, so I'm very careful the way I speak about him, because he's not a bad person. He's not. He's just in a bad way. And my heart breaks for him. My heart breaks for anybody in that situation. And I understand that she's angry. I get it. I've been angry. I've been angry too. But it's not right. At the end of the day, you got to think about your daughters. She has to think about her daughters. My sons, I've made many mistakes in my addiction, but I'm of lucid mind. So to harm them emotionally when I'm supposed to be the rational one doesn't make sense to me. Sorry, guys, my son just walked in the room, so I was just making sure he was okay. Wait, some things should definitely be kept private. I agree, Bliss. I agree. I have never suffered with addiction, but my best friend from childhood does, and so did my nephew. He is in recovery and doing good. My friend still needs lots of prayers. And Teresa, I will give prayers. And if you want to give your friend my email, or if you want any resources for your friend, you don't even have to give him my email. You let me know, and I can get resources like groups, meetings, anything that's in your area, or for them to go to if that's what you want. You already know, Teresa. You can always let me know. And yes, even her subtle facial expressions show how much she really enjoys dogging him out to the masses. Something ain't right there. And that's how I feel too. That's how I feel. When I spoke about my husband, it broke my heart to do it. It did. And I'm saying he's gotten me angry. He's gotten me to my haltera, like halta halta. Where I was like, ya basta ya. Like he's gotten me there. But at the end of the day, like I just couldn't do it. And again, I'm not saying I'm better than her because I'm not, but I don't know. I just whatever, man. Because I just feel like I'm harping on it. That really pissed me off when she said it was okay to tell the world his story because the kids were living it. They were not there that night. Jason's friend showed up. Protect your kids. Exactly. And that was her excuse. Oh, yeah, people saying I shouldn't. My kids seen it in real time. Like, what does that even mean? What does that even mean? So what? This is forever now. This is forever on the internet. You know, kids can't understand. My sons are like, most of my sons are in their 20s. My youngest is 18, and they still are immature, but they can understand way more than minors can, than little kids can. Little kids still love their parents regardless, and they should. And they should love their parents. Her own words seem to come back to haunt her often. Yeah. And like I said, trust me, I suffer from foot and mouth syndrome. So sometimes that shit come back to haunt me too. But not when it's important. Never about my recovery. Never. That's one thing I don't play with. I'm not a liar with that. That is so important. I built my foundation on my channel with my recovery. I wouldn't come here and be like, yeah, I'm 22 years, knowing that I just got high last night. Like, listen, I won't be talking. Even if I didn't come and say I relapsed, you would not hear me talking about my recovery for like a few weeks. You know what I mean? Like, let's just be honest. I'm not going to come here and fake the funk, though. There's no way. My dumb ass would come and tell on myself. But I'm saying, even if you don't want to come and divulge that you relapse, just don't come and lie. Don't pretend. That's gross. It's disrespectful. She invited randos to her own crib. No disrespect. No, I get it. I get it. You're right. And when you're a parent, you have to be very careful because, as I said, I suffered trauma because my mom had randos in our crib all the time. You know what I mean? And it's scary. It's scary with kids. And you never know. It takes 1 minute. You can go to the restroom. And there are people that are good at that. Creeps and all of this. God bless her children. I'm saying in general. In general, we have to be very careful with our kids. We have to be very careful. Play no games when it comes to stuff like that. You might have talked on this, but what was up with the call to cops from the block number and she wouldn't give her name? Do you know why they called? I was wondering that too, though. What the F? I was wondering that too. Why wouldn't they give their name? And why would they block their number? Right? I don't know either about that, but that was weird to me too. Like, first of all, why wouldn't you give your name if you're truly concerned? That I'm telling you, just the wheels in my brain. It seems like it's all a setup. That, in my opinion, that's what it seems like. Like, let's position. It's like a game of chess. We're gonna move Reese where we need him. Mentally, let's fuck with him. Like sending him the picture with Jason, the tattoo of Jason with Jessica Kent, emulating herself doing that. Why send it to him if he's so volatile? Again, I'm not questioning the DV, guys, but I'm saying, right? He's so volatile. He keeps calling wellness check. He keeps showing up at your house in the middle of the night. Why would you antagonize someone like that? It doesn't make sense. It's not smart. It's not logical thinking. Someone who keeps bothering you and you're going to antagonize him. And I know he probably pisses you off, but that's not the way to handle it. You want to cut off all communication. Like you said, there's a protective order. So you shouldn't be contacting him either. You shouldn't be antagonizing him either. And it seems like it's all to get him to react, and do these things so that she can win in court and keep him from the girls. Because she even said he totaled this car and he's been in numerous car accidents. And listen, that's dangerous too. I can understand not wanting kids in a car with somebody that has had, car accidents. I get it. So I'm not taking away from that from her, but it just seems like she's so eager to like put it all out there. Yeah, he did this X, Y, and Z, and he's doing this and that, and the most important details. She even that was like Reese's friend. Reese didn't know this man. It wasn't Reese's friend. That was Jason's friend. Don't you think that in telling that story, that would have been very important details to tell? I just think that would have been so important to tell. He didn't know him. She made it sound like that was Reese's friend, and that's why she made it sound like he was just out of his mind, like he didn't even recognize his own friend. And I thought it was weird when I heard her say it. I'm like, why would he react like that to his own friend? You know what I mean? And these are questions I was asking myself as I was listening to her. And then when Nicole read it, a light bulb went off, and I was like, that is why. That is why. But it really had my brain like, damn, this dude is scary. Like that was, and I think that was the effect she was going for. If I'm honest, that is the effect she was going for. Hi, Lisa Ann. Thank you for stopping by. Good night, Pam. I don't know. That's just how I feel about it. And this is again, a lot is handled through the court of public opinion. And I just wanted to give my opinions. And I think that it could all just easily be rectified if she just took a little bit of accountability, a little bit of reflecting and realizing the part that she's played, the things that she's done to have people have all these questions. I didn't want to question her and come into it with this thinking, but it's common sense, and it's not adding up. The things she's saying doesn't add up with what she's doing. And I know because I was an addict. And not only did I live it personally, I went to school to be able to identify the signs and all these things. And I'm pretty good at identifying it. It's not always, because sometimes mental illness looks like addiction, and addiction can look like mental illness, and sometimes both of them can coincide together. So I would never sit here and say, yep, that person's using, yep, that person's yep, that's what that is. That would be insane for me to do that. But usually I can see little behaviors that are a little sus, and I'm like, something's going on there. And something is going on there. I don't know what it is. Maybe she's just going through a lot, overwhelming the stress, whatever. And maybe that's why she shouldn't talk about the situation. Just do her. And some people are like, oh, she's just going to do regular content and not address it. What if she's not going to address it honestly? Then don't address it at all, because all she's doing is making a worse maelstrom for herself. She's making a worse shitstorm. She's making it worse. Bye, Lisa Ann. If you're not going to be honest about it and tackle it honestly, then don't speak about it, because she's making it worse for herself. Again, that's just my opinion. Just do your content, do your regular content, whatever that is. Don't spin stories. Don't omit shit, because then you're going to have people on your ass. And it feels horrible when people call you out for your shit. Trust me, I know. But just be honest. That's just how I feel. That's just how I feel. Let me see if I have anything I missed. I don't think so. I think I talked to death. Yes. Yep. And the last thing I wrote is not everything belongs online. And Bliss Chris even said that. Not everything belongs online. Everything, once you put it online, even like any video I make, there's people recording me as soon as I press live. So even if right after this I delete it, it's already recorded. Somebody can re-upload it. Somebody can, react to it or give their opinion to it. It is forever on the internet, even little clips and snippets. And I know this, and you have to be prepared for that. You can't come and tell parts of your story and be mad when somebody else has an opinion on it. You can't do that. I'm sorry. I think Jessica Kent might also be addicted to. Yes, girl. Yes. Yes. Oh my God, that is so true. Listen, the addiction to social media is a huge one, especially when your audience grows. When your audience is that large and you have that influence, your ego grows. That is a real thing. Hi, Mustang Sally. How are you, sweetie pie? That is a real thing, Dee Dee. Your ego grows and it becomes, and especially somebody who has an addictive personality. I know when I first got clean, I substituted one addiction for the other. Once I got clean, I started shopping, you know, going and buying t-shirts and buying clothes and buying makeup and buying all this stuff. I substituted. I dove right into shopping and all this stuff to occupy and distract myself when I first got clean. And so sometimes we do that. We substitute one addiction and we have addictive personalities. So addiction can manifest in other ways. A lot of people too that get clean off of drugs start gambling, get addicted to those scratch offs. And then that becomes a problem because you're owing money, you're borrowing money. You may even win and you put it all right back in the scratch offs. It happens. And I think that she does. And the reaction she gets and all of this and the attention that she gets is overwhelming, you know, but you don't do it at the expense of your family, your children's mental well-being, their stability. And like I said, not just their stability present or in the past, but their future. These are still small children. These are still small children that are in their formative years. They still have a lot of learning to do. And so you have to be very careful because everything you share on the internet will affect them. If not now, in the future. Damn, you had a Mustang? Shit. The way she said it, I thought it was someone he served. I know what the F, so did I. So did I. The paper said they told the cops they had a mutual friend, Jason. He's not Reese's friend after and that's what I'm saying. Like the little skirting around shit. Like, no, say that's my ex's boyfriend. Yeah, like that changes the whole dynamic. That changes the whole dynamic. Because then you don't think that cops know, okay, so his ex that has a protective order on him, that he's having all this trouble with, her boyfriend sent somebody to do a wellness check instead of calling the police. If they were so concerned, why not call the police and have the police do a wellness check? If you're truly concerned that he may be out of sorts and may be in a position that needs help, why not contact the police? You can be anonymous, right? You can stay anonymous. If you were truly concerned, you had that man go and say, Jason sent me. You knew that would send him spiraling, in my opinion. I have to keep saying in my opinion, because listen, I ain't trying to get sued. I ain't got no damn money. Nothing super extravagant. It was a 96 and it broke down on me every other month. It was listen, I don't care. Sometimes you gotta just, just like with your people you love in real life, shit's be acting up. You still got to show us some love, show us some TLC. Sometimes those be the best cars, you know? Breaks down. Like my son, his first car, he loved that shit. That shit was always giving him a problem. And he loved it more than anything. You know what I mean? Still a Mustang though. Shit, fuck. But I hope that this was a cohesive live. I hope I made some points. I know I veered off a few times because I can identify and I can relate um, to her situation. And I understand that when you're under that amount of stress and stuff. You do things you wouldn't normally do. You say things you wouldn't normally say, but you have to be responsible for your words and for everything that you share on the internet. And again, I've overshared. I know that. I've been a hypocrite. I know this as well. But her children deserve the expectation of privacy, and that means with their father. That is a part of them. That man will be a part of them forever. He will be a part of them forever, no matter what. And there has to be a way for you guys to learn to coexist in some way that doesn't destroy his reputation, your reputation. Like that affects his prospects for a job. That affects him possibly going to jail, having a worse record. That affects his reputation online and offline, just like it affects hers online and offline. And the things that she's doing, the people she's surrounding herself with, are putting her in a position to get in trouble again with the law, have real consequences to not only her, but to her daughters. And that's what she has to look at. Is a man that important that you're willing to risk your own freedom, especially knowing how the prison system works, having been there? Your whole content is surrounded around that. Let me tell you something. Being in jail scared me straight. 22 years ago, I was in jail. Okay? I'm a two-time felon because of that dumb shit. It scared me straight. The time I did scared me straight. I have not gotten in trouble in all that time. When I got my shit together, I got my shit together. I have not been in trouble because I don't want to end up back in jail. I don't. I've been in situations, of course. Guys, I'm not perfect. You know, my husband, like I said, my husband relapsed. And so I was in a lot of situations I wish I hadn't been in. But I will never share those stories here because he's an amazing person. He's my kid's father. And he's going through something. And she needs to think of her daughters. I keep going back to that. You know? Thank you. Thank you, Didi. It was great having you. I look forward to seeing you again here. She's going to be real sad when he's in jail and no child support being paid. What the F? For real. Jessica won't give them privacy. I know, and I think that she had this certain lifestyle that she was afforded too, you know, and I don't know. I just think she needs to take some time and really think about it. Hi, my Viva la Roca. But I thank you guys for being here. I thank you for um Jenny Lee renewing her membership, Happy Being Me renewing her membership, and Dee Dee for becoming a member. I appreciate you guys so much. And I thank you guys for being here and even hearing me out. Again, this is just my opinion. I'm not an authority on anything. I don't pretend to be. Trust and believe that. I get canceled almost once a week, all right? Once a week. That's why my members are called Cancel Sweetie Pies, because I got one foot out of the YouTube door. But I appreciate you guys. I never forget where I came from. Trust me, because I'm not too far from where I came from. But I love you guys and I appreciate you guys. And I truly hope that you guys understand where I'm coming from. And that it's not from a place of malice. It's just from a place of being able to relate, and just being honest is the best way to do it, in my opinion. But I love you all and I hope you have a great night. Today is Friday. I will be back Sunday for Sunday chat. I don't know if Bliss has to work. I may drag her, but she'll be on with me for the members only. We have members only Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern time. I look forward to seeing you guys here. Oh, thank you. And I am so glad you were here. Thank you for being here. I hope to see you again. Ooh, your eyes look. Whoa, your makeup looks beautiful. All right, that's what I'm talking about. The makeup, it gets me every time. But I love you guys and I hope you have a great night. Again, I will be back Sunday for our Sunday chat, and Monday our members only, okay? As always, I love you too, my Viva. I love you guys. Como siempre, te quiero, te adoro. All that good stuff. Si Dios quiere, nos vemos el domingo, mi amores. I love you guys and I appreciate you guys so much. Love you with the F. Love you guys. Have a good night. Mwah. Besos. No, I'm just kidding. Bye, guys. Have a good night.